You're killing me, Smalls.
We making movies, no acting in. I'm fucking Instagram action shit. UPS shipping packages. I'm smoking weed out them packages. If I ain't got a gun, I'm stabbing it. I got some leftover lean in the cabinet. I can hit your little hoe when she happy. Poke on that pussy shit like it's a top in it. We making movies, no acting in. I'm fucking Instagram action shit. UPS doing the packaging. I'm smoking good ass weed out them packages. I can't lie, 'cause I ain't capping it.
Welcome back to the DNA Podcast. It's your boy D.
And it's your boy Antonio. Let's get to it.
This week we're going to discuss movie adaptations of comics. We're going to harp on past adaptations, future adaptations that we want to see, and just how they were done.
Right or well.
Yeah.
So what era do you want to start in?
We could do this through just how they came out to how they've gotten better, or we could just pick our favorites and dissect them from there. But if we pick our favorites, we're never going to choose anything before 2000. So I guess we could pick our favorites and our worst.
I wouldn't even choose anything at 2000.
I'm gonna have a bunch of hot takes. So we could just pick our favorites and dissect, and then pick our least favorites.
Sounds good to me.
And dissect. So I guess I'll
start with your favorite.
Yeah. It's no secret. My favorite is The Dark Knight. Most Batman adaptations. So with movie adaptations, live action, I really don't like. Shocker. Like that's probably my hot take. Like, so some people are like, you don't like the Marvel ones? I think the animated series is way better than the whole MCU. I like
That's an awful take, but okay.
I love X-Men animated series just a little bit more than everything.
I'm okay with that.
I love Spider-Man animated series just a little bit more than every Spider-Man that's been released.
I think Tom Holland's version is pretty good.
I think his version is great, but I think just, and this could be just me a personal thing, because I really don't like movies, but I don't like movies because they build up so much, but the ending is always rushed, and this is every movie, because there's a finite time. It's only so much information that you could get in amount of, whatever.
2 to 3 hours.
Yeah. But with series, like TV series, you could draw out a damn plot line you could draw it out for way longer than what it should have been.
That whole 2
seasons
if you really wanted to.
And so most of my favorite anythings will be the animated form. And so I'm always going to pick Batman because that's my guy. The Dark Knight is my favorite live action, but Batman Return of the Joker is my favorite animated movie. And by proxy, my favorite movie in the comic book genre.
All right. So let me shit on your dreams right now. Okay. Number 1, Batman, garbage.
What do you have against Batman? Like, dead ass.
He's not compelling at all.
He's just like your favorite superhero Marvel. He actually has more reason to be compelling.
He's not compelling. He has nothing about Batman makes you think, yeah, I would become Batman if I was a billionaire.
So if I was so is it not true that Iron Man is your favorite?
He's my favorite MCU character.
MCU.
Yeah.
Okay. So just before I shit on that guy, can we not both agree that they are both wealthy playboys?
I like Iron Man not because I relate to him.
No, not that. Just in general, they're wealthy playboys.
Yes.
And they fight crime for a higher sense of, I guess, justice.
Sure.
Why the fuck does Iron Man does it? What compelled Iron Man to do it? He didn't start becoming a superhero after his parents died.
He became a superhero after he saw all the destruction that his company made, being weapon salespeople.
So
he decided, you know what? Maybe I should stop making weapons and become the weapon.
And that's honorable to you.
Yeah. He became the weapon to protect people from his own weapons. That's so deep.
How about you don't make the fucking weapons?
He did. He stopped.
He's the reason why the conflict started.
Fair enough. That's the point. He saw the error of his ways.
For me, Batman became a hero.
He's also way fucking funnier.
Oh, whoop, goddamn dude, that boy can crack a few jokes. Yeah, that is.
He is the jokes.
Batman became Batman the second his parents died. The second.
Well, the reason why his whole life went down that path is because his parents were killed.
Iron Man's parents was killed.
I'm saying yeah, Iron Man's parents were killed.
Oh.
Yeah, they were murked.
Yeah.
So like, the reason why, you know what I'm saying, it just makes, he just took the longer path.
That boy's soft. Okay, so I'm gonna break down Batman. Why I think he's the most complex hero.
He's not complex at all.
So everything about Batman revolves back. He's a deep traumatic hero. That goes down to the not killing. That goes down to becoming a hero. Goes down to protecting others that can't protect themselves. And just the aura around him, bro. Batman could have murked off damn near everybody in Gotham. That bitch could be fucking safe. Like we know that.
My problem with Batman is that he keeps putting them in the insane asylum instead of sending them asses to jail. They get out every time.
It's not Batman's fault where they go. It's not.
He's a billionaire. He can fucking break somebody.
That's the judicial system's fault.
He can buy the judicial system. He's a billionaire. He could become fucking mayor if he wanted to, right? Yes or no?
I mean, true, but they just gonna break out of prison.
At least it'd be a little harder than a fucking insane asylum. They out every week. Every week.
And they keep making new insane asylums. That's how they start to keep capturing them niggas. But I do like it.
It sounds to me like he owns the insane asylum and he's just making money off of them getting in and out.
Your point is true, and I've had to cope with like, yeah, bro, you're kind of putting them in more danger than what you're actually doing. But that's the complexity. He doesn't know he's doing it. Batman is his identity. Like I said, he became Batman when his parents was killed. He's afraid to never be Batman. That's why all his relationships, Dick Grayson, fell out. That's why Dick Grayson became Nightwing, because he never was going to pass the torch. That's why he never keeps people around long, because if you keep people around long, damn, there's probably a chance I don't have to be, maybe I won't have to be Batman anymore. And so it all harps like, he does put them in danger knowingly. We can take the Joker. Him and the Joker stories are intertwined. Mm-hmm. If there's no Joker organizing the crime, that means my days are limited. He does not want to be Bruce. Maybe they've done a comic on it and I just haven't read it. He's afraid just to be a normal guy now.
The end of the Bat That Laughs, they kind of talk on this subject a little bit.
Fuck, and that's the part that I didn't read at the damn thing.
Yes, it's the very end. It's like the end part. They kind of talk about this whole situation.
And so this isn't even from dirt. She's like, this is that as me just thinking, because somebody hit me with that like, bro, that nigga's doing damn near more harm than good, because they're trying to top him now. Like, since there's a Batman, they went from just regular, I guess, like petty
punks,
so now they're super villains.
Yeah,
but like he gets off on it too. Like that's and we see it because people do it in real life. You continue a vicious cycle, and you don't know that you're stuck in it. And so I think there's like if I take Superman is just out there saving. For me, most Superman stories actually end with them with Lois Lane. Like there is an ending. Mm-hmm. Batman, it's a never. He got all these Robins. Damn, Batman got the Robins. We know that they fall out. He has Barbara Gordon, falls out. I mean, he really got shot and really couldn't take the mantle anyway. We seen it in Batman Beyond. He did not want to give it up in the start. He ended up having a heart attack and almost shooting a guy. So that put him on the shelf. Did not want to pass it to Terry McGinnis. And it's like, that's dead ass complex. And it's like,
but I understand that it's complex. I get the whole complexity of what you're saying. But that sounds like he wants to play a superhero and not actually be a superhero. Because Tony Stark couldn't wait to not be Iron Man. He was willing to make Ultron, which was a bad decision. But he was willing to make Ultron so that he didn't have to be any more superheroes.
And so when I go against Iron Man, I do like Iron Man. This isn't me saying he's a bad character. This is just me pointing out the differences. So I do agree that Tony Stark does want to see an end, but that's because he made the beginning. There is
not all the world's issues is Tony Stark's problem.
It isn't
just the first 2 or 3 Iron Man movies.
But Bruce became Batman out of his control. Tony Stark, when he made the conflict, he became Iron Man in his control. It makes sense that there will be an end for him. It just does.
But what really set him down the path was his parents dying, because he didn't have that role model to keep him on the straight and narrow, keep the company where he needed to be at. And then the person who came in to be his father was really only about the money. So that led him down that path. So
what you're telling me is all that nigga had to do was go to the Boys and Girls Club. If he wanted all this guidance. They don't have that for rich people. If he wanted all this guidance in the world.
I mean, just think about all the dumb shit you've done and rash decisions that you've made.
Yeah, I've never endangered the world.
If you had a fucking $1 billion company and you can manufacture anything,
you know I lean towards supervillain. I'm gonna be Magneto, so
I'm saying if you had a $1 billion company and someone was like, "Hey, we can make another $1 billion if we sold weapons," you'd be like, "Yeah, let's make the AK-47s. Let's do it."
If I have a conscience, which I do not, I won't. But that
but that's what I'm saying.
But it's not going to resurface like the damn AKs I made. That was a bad decision. It won't ever dawn on me for that.
Well,
there will be.
But also the thing with Iron Man is like he was making weapons, but he was selling them to America and like our allies or whatever. But behind his back, the second guy in command was selling them to the enemies. So in a weird way, it wasn't his fault, but it was his fault. He was making the weapons, but he wasn't actively selling them to all parties.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. So in a weird way, he's never really been a bad guy.
And he
was just a shitty person.
He was the bad guy. And this is him helping. I do get this. He did not willfully do this. Mm-hmm. But he made the conflict with Ultron. He made his job longer than what it needed to be. He made the conflict again.
Arguably, it was Tony and the Hulk. But continue.
If we take out the Ultron part, true or false, would his need for Iron Man have been cut close to short? Like close to half to what it needed to been if Ultron never happened.
Well, the point of Ultron was to protect him from galactic threats. And all those galactic threats would have still been there. So he would have still had to be Iron Man. The point of him making Ultron was that he didn't have to be Iron Man no more. He can live a normal life.
So, and that's true. And like I'm not debating, but there is an end on Iron Man. Even if Batman say like he doesn't fuck it up for himself, say like, oh, you let Robin take over this and that. Well, there's other comics that show that, and he failed. It failed so bad that he had to be goddamn Batman again because, well, he's the only person, because he's so broken and his skill set is so definitive and refined. I can teach you stuff, but you still can't be Batman. Like the justice just isn't the same.
Maybe if he just killed them, we wouldn't have these issues.
And like I don't debate that, but it goes that's the psychological thing he's under, and I get it.
I think he's pussy.
Talking about it now makes me like why I do relate to Batman, only because like it's kind of like when people tell me to give up on something stupid. No, if I give up, I won't be me anymore. Not giving up is what makes me me. Not killing people is what makes Batman Batman. And we're like, bro, he does the job well without killing. Bro, Iron Man ain't doing shit. He better smoke them niggas. He don't even do that properly.
What do you mean? He kills niggas all the time. Every villain he's ever had has died.
The nigga only had like 2 solo villains.
Just saying. They killed that nigga. They killed that nigga Thanos twice.
That nigga Iron Man was not part of that bitch whatsoever.
He did go back and kill him when they went and found him on the planet. And he was being a farmer.
He wasn't there for that. They got him after to do the portal. That's when Captain Marvel came. It was her, Thor, and Iron Man wasn't a part of it because he didn't remember. That's when he was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm good with what it was." And I guess technically, the snap. We don't know that he killed Thanos with the snap. To me, I think he just sent them back.
No, he puffed that nigga.
So like he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Cause they brought everybody back with the first snap, and the second snap was to get rid of all of Thanos' armies and Thanos.
So he just didn't send them back to where they were.
Nah, he kachigga that nigga. Yeah. Only way to bring Thanos back is a snap. And the Infinity Stones are gone now, so it's impossible.
If only this was comic books, you know that nigga would come back. But he ain't coming back in no goddamn CGI. And like, I do like that. And it's like, and this is gonna get into the other point. So Batman doesn't kill. That's why I love Batman Beyond. Because it goes into a different psychology of a different Batman. Did not know this. Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis, killed every bad guy. Every episode, and even the past foes, they died. Return of the Joker, he killed them. Now, he knocked his existence out on a microchip. But still the same, the nigga ain't coming back. He killed Mr. Freeze. He killed his major villain. It was like black light, green light, whatever the little shiny green nigga was. Killed him. Like, Batman Beyond went above the psychological borders, and I guess that's fixing Bruce's I think that's what the series was based on, fixing all of Bruce's tied up ends.
His fuck ups.
And so that made the tone dark. But like that's deep psychology that you got just going forward. Now it took a second person to do it, but the job got done. And so we got on a whole tangent about it. But that's why I love Batman, because it's more psychology based. As we talk about anime, action is kind of like just going past me. I rather watch psychological thrillers that ding bang, shoot 'em up, explosions, they threw that damn car. Like, what's the psychology behind that? Like, nigga, y'all just destroying shit.
I think that Tony Stark has just as deep of a psychology behind his character, especially if you read the comic books, then you know, because they can't get, even though the MCU is basically the story of Tony Stark,
they can't get everything.
They can't get every detail of his life and why his, even though he's a billionaire, his life's still kind of fucked up. And
I do like, and that's where it's like they both playboys, and I don't mean it like in a way, but like they both share that same fucked up like Bruce still. It's not expanded upon a lot because the Batman itself is still deep enough. But like Bruce faces the same daily stuff, you know, in his personal life. But Iron Man is more fleshed out to where Tony Stark is just as important. Hell, I would say more important at this point than the actual Iron Man.
I think it's more. I think Iron Man and Tony Stark is. I can connect to it more because it's like they are one and the same, right? He doesn't have a secret identity.
Everybody knows
that he's Tony Stark.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's just more, I don't want to say visceral, but like, it's just more realistic in a way. Like, I understand the concept of a secret identity so that, you know, you can have a life outside of this. But like, when you choose to be a superhero, you're giving that up to me.
For me, the secret identity is always about just keeping your loved one safe. So like what you said, it does make sense, but it doesn't. Bro, if I'm I'm kidnapping that nigga's daughter. Like the fuck, why the fuck would I fight you straight up? You got a Hulk, you got a God, you got niggas who, I'm gonna kidnap your daughter. Like, cool your dumb ass out. That's the point of the identity, so that you can have the life, but you don't ever have to worry about getting a ransom note. We got what's her name, Penelope? What's it?
Shit, I don't know what her name is. I can't remember.
We got your daughter tied up in something. You got X amount of time before we kill her. That's what the separate identities is for. Now I will say the only thing that's lacking what Batman does it is Well, he doesn't choose to keep loved ones.
Yeah.
But every time that he does, something bad does happen. Hence, Batgirl becoming Oracle, Jason Todd becoming Red Hood, and the bad stuff. I think that's also the psychology that makes him keep being Batman. Because like it seems like whenever I'm about to hang this shit on up, y'all give me more of a reason to keep doing it. But the universes are different. I like Batman because it's more real life. And I say based off the judicial system is stupid. So it's like Batman is the good guy. Batman has not once given them a reason to think. Otherwise, we're on the same side. But in the Batman universe, he is public enemy number one. They probably want to take him down more than the Joker. Hence why the Joker keeps getting free, because that's not their main priority. Capturing the batshit crazy clown is not what they want. And so, like, that's real life. Real life, we've seen that good doesn't ultimately triumph.
Yeah.
And I do like it's kind of dirty that he's friends with the commissioner. So, like, him and the commissioner are linking, like, this is the intel from the police. We linking up. But I can't tell nobody. And if we capture you, I got to persecute you. So just don't get caught. And so, like, there is a lot going on with that. And
I can see how that's, like, you know, interesting storyline. Like, but my only problem with it is, like, even in every world, being a vigilante is illegal. By no means is that not frowned upon.
They don't go as hard at them. Like, I guess...
It's because they're governmentally sanctioned. They went about it the right way, I guess.
And I guess the same reason I don't like Superman is like I guess it's easy for Batman to be in trouble. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense that if the police are coming after him, well, shit, yeah, like, you don't want to knock off the police officers. Like, you don't want to break their arms and do this or that. So, like, 100 police officers pretty daring. But, like, in Civil War, like, I guess the world came together and tried to give them an ultimatum. But truthfully, what the fuck are y'all gonna do to us? Like, if look into yourselves, what are you really gonna make the Avengers do? If we say that we rule this world now, we just rule the world. Like, that's...
But then there'll be the problem that they... You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, they wouldn't be the superheroes.
Yeah.
But, like, there's no real... That's why I hate Captain America. Why would you sell out? You don't have to make a decision.
Well, he felt... He had all that moral... the moral guilt from making Ultron and then causing all those people to die and being being the reason why Wanda and her brother were exposed to the Mind Stone and became well, I guess Wanda was already a superhero, but became a stronger superhero, and like, so, like, why she became evil, and like, so he had all this built up stuff.
And, like, I guess we are normal people. I guess a normal person, that's a lot. But for me, it's like, if we're not here, like, so we've done fucked up shit. Mm-hmm. We're not disagreed. I'm like, oh, we did fucked up. If we weren't here, it'd be more fucked up. We limited the Ultron thing. All right, that's all us.
That's me.
But, like, if it wasn't for us, fucking Hydra would have took over. Like, like, if it wasn't for us, the world probably wouldn't be free. Now, you do make fuck ups, and that's why I like more comic book movies. Like, I'm starting to like it more now because they're showing, like, the disaster of it. Mm-hmm. But that's still lost on me. So y'all gonna become government dogs? Like, I get why he was upset, but for me, it's just a matter of we need to look upon ourselves and we just got to do better, not sell out to the government.
Well,
but his name is also Captain America, so the boy was going.
Well, Captain America was the one that wasn't going to sell out.
Oh, he wasn't?
Yeah.
It was Iron Man?
Iron Man was the one that was going to sell out. Because he had all that moral guilt. Because it was his fault.
Oh, bro, I watched that movie completely in reverse. I watched it complete. It only made sense to me that Iron Man was the renegade and Captain America.
That's what made the movie interesting. Because the roles got reversed.
Huh?
The people who you would think were be on the different sides were on the opposite sides.
I dead ass didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I watched the movie like 3 or 4 times. It just made too much sense to me that But
So I think in the original storyline, like the comic book
Captain America
storyline,
is.
Captain America is the one that was trying to give him that right sign. But he also was a Hydra plant, so it's kind of different. If I'm remembering that storyline correctly, because it's been so long since I've read that or watched anything on that.
Yeah, but like, so they had to go through like, it's cartoonish. This is comic books. They had to go to cartoonish stakes to try to make the Avengers in danger per se. Batman's in like just his rogue galleries kind of like the Joker's probably the weakest in quotes, but he's the smartest. He has to deal with Bane, a fucking Brock Lesnar on steroids, more steroids.
Okay. I have beef with Bane, and here's why. I think he is the least interesting supervillain ever. I think his powers are just boring.
I think the third movie made him interesting, but the way that they took him out. So Bane in the third movie, I like that they made him intelligent and not just a brute. Because I do it like he's running through. He's pretty much DC's Rhino. He's just running through saying one-liners because he's stupid.
Yeah.
Bro, if you had any bit of intelligence, you could be running this shit. Just any little subtle bit. Because bullets don't work on you. Knives don't work on you. Batman can barely hit you and hurt you. Bro, you could be running Gotham if you had any semblance of IQ. But I guess it also makes sense that his IQ's fried because he's on. Think about what steroids do to people in real life. Yeah. That nigga's on the juice.
In the comic books, they make him smart when he's not on the juice. And then when he's on the juice.
Oh, yeah, he made the juice. Yeah. In the comic books, he made the shit.
When he's juiced up, he's not very bright.
But, like, so he's dealing with people like that. He deals with his fair share of supernaturals. It makes sense to me that he's in real danger all the time.
I mean, I see how he's in danger. I get that. I mean, he really has no superpowers at all.
He dead ass don't.
And his suit doesn't really power him up. So I get that. But I feel like this is a bad designing issue. You should have chose... Number one, you should have actually chosen actual bat powers or something. I don't know. Get a suit with actual bat powers.
And that's why I do like Batman Beyond, because there's actual, like, powers. Like, that shit goes invisible. He can actually control the suit without a body being in there. Yeah. It flies on its own. Never understood why Batman in general never flew.
He just glides.
Even in most iterations, like in the Arkham games, the gliding is pretty much flying. Mm-hmm. Like an animated series, I mean, if you call gliding going down, like he's just going down. That's not a glide. He's just falling slower. Gliding is literally like, gliding is being able to go a distance. Yeah. So, like, why didn't they ever make him fly?
And I think that's because number one, he was like one of the first few comic book characters to ever be written, right?
His original design was dead ass ugly.
Yeah.
Like, that shit was god awful. But
not interesting to me.
To get to the movie, the reason why I love The Dark Knight, the funny thing, and I tell people this all the time, like Christian Bale's Batman, he does Bruce Wayne. Plain as vanilla ice cream as Bruce Wayne. He hurts all my arguments because he doesn't do anything as Bruce Wayne. He just chuckles and I'm rich, I'm wealthy. Yeah, like that's not Bruce Wayne. I've read too many comics. I've seen the animated series. Bruce Wayne has charisma. He's his defining character traits for me that I like. He's caring. He doesn't come off as rich. He does all this stuff. Then when people realize, holy shit, you're Bruce Wayne? That's what I like. I like that didn't define him. But that's Christian Bale. Bruce Wayne was bad, but his Batman great. The Joker is the epitome of what Joker should be. He carried the movie, and you felt the never-ending battle. I love that his main goal was for choices. I don't think people really noticed that. It's funny that Harvey Dent was in it, but Joker was the one really playing 50-50 with everything. Gave choices just to prove he just wanted to prove that humans are as crazy as him. Gave Batman the choice to save Harvey Dent or the girl. See, Batman, I knew you would save the girl. I knew you wouldn't do the right thing. I knew you would do you for your own self-sufficient interest because you're human, just like me. Instead of saving the right person, you saved your loved one. And I flipped them on you. I flipped the fucking locations on you. The ending scene was great. It wasn't actually cheesy when the boats was supposed to detonate.
Mm-hmm.
His plan was for them to kill each other. And to really prove a point. If one blew, he would have been happy, but he really wanted both buttons to press. And both of them to show that a group of businessmen is no different than criminals, which I 100% agree. Businessmen are just criminals that haven't been caught yet. But it's beautiful that it didn't happen. It's beautiful that it actually pissed him off, too. Like, at the end, you actually, oh, what the fuck? Y'all niggas don't do shit right. And he was about to blow them up anyway. That's such an embodiment of the Joker that's, I think it's hard to translate. I think that's why Jared Leto's fail. It's hard to walk that line of witty. You have a good reason. Mm-hmm. You just twist it. So the reason. But you have to foil him at the end, but you can't foil him in a cheesy way. Mm. They foiled him in a way. Technically, Batman just stopped him from killing them. He didn't stop the plan. The people stopped the plan. Like, the movie, just from a psychological standpoint, is beautiful. And for the fact that I give Heath Ledger props, they said he basically freestyled a good segment of his parts. Some people actually didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He just
was rolling.
Yeah, like he just pretty much went. We know he went insane. Like he pretty much just went insane with high marks. He embodies everything I want the Joker to be. First, I take Mark Hamill though as the voice, but perfect. I could not make another better Joker carry the movie. That's why I don't really care for the first one. Last one is okay but cheesy. That second one is a superhero film. And that's why I call it the best live action. I think animated film still trumpets.
I think that I think The Dark Knight is one of the best, like, serious movies. Like, you know, it is a serious tone the whole time. And I also understand, like, that's, like, Batman. Like, or at least modern Batman.
Well, I didn't notice that is. The animated series is actually dark, too. Yeah. It covers, like, a bunch of dark
topics. But yeah. It's kind of lighthearted, but it's lighthearted because it has to be for kids.
Yeah.
But when you go back and watch it as an adult, it's like, oh.
Like, their backstories and shit. Like, that I remember Mr. Freeze's episode. This is actually sad, bro. Yeah. Like, this is it.
I think Batman has some of the best dark storylines. Like, if you're going for something dark and gritty, of course choose the dark and gritty character. I get that, but I don't know. It's just something about Batman is just overrated to me.
It's overrated because of the fans, and so like, this is my devil's advocate. If you do give him prep time, he does win, and I'm only going based off he has beaten Superman. And people's caveat is he used the kryptonite. This nigga using his powers. We ain't fighting. Like, we're not fighting fair. Like, you can't say I use kryptonite when he's fucking ice beaming me. When he's laser beaming my dumb ass.
my only thing with that whole, like, he can beat anybody if he has enough prep time. It's like, it just not. I respect this, like, what you're saying, but it's just not the flex that you think it is.
Because everybody does, technically.
Any superhero who's, like, you know, worth their grain of salt could figure a way to beat somebody that had a prep time.
I think the newer Batmans are delving more into it to be more than just, you know, hearsay, she say. Mm-hmm. Because, like, there's a Justice League movie. I think it's called Doomsday. It's the one where he leaves the Justice League, basically get kicked out because the bad guys discovered a tape of him with everybody's weakness. And like, this wasn't just like, you run fast, so we're gonna stick to floor. No, like, there was actual, like, psychological weaknesses to beat them. Bruce, why do you have this? We don't know if anybody ever goes rogue. I did my part to make sure that we're all safe, in case.
I watched the movie that came out before that one, where all the bad people team up and they find his tapes or whatever.
I think we're talking about the same one then.
Well, because all those Justice League movies are all one storyline.
Oh, I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, they're, as far as I know, some of them might not be canon, but as far as I know, all the Justice League movies are one storyline.
Yeah,
including the TV show. So like there is I saw a movie like that where I don't know if it's the exact same one we're talking about, but he finds all the weaknesses, and then the bad people find them, and they're using them to beat them, and Batman's telling them how to beat his own plans. You gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do this.
And yeah, that's at the end when they finally accept him back, when they realize, well, why don't we get the guy that figured out how to beat us? He can figure out how to unbeat us. But it makes, and he's not a sociopath. A sociopath does that. They don't do it for themselves. They try to call him out. Did you make one for yourself? Yes. And then he even detailed it like, this is how you beat me. That's like, one, that's the complexity of like,
You could just shoot him.
but he even said, I care for my loved ones. A good way to really get me is to capture this and that. And hope. But it's like, that's the complexity, because Batman comes off as when he's compared to Superman, Superman cares. Look at Superman. He's breaking his neck. Batman don't care. He's stoic. Batman cares so much that he's made precautions against people who he call friends. And I think at this point in the Justice League, you might as well consider them family. But he cares about their well-being so much. I'm not even just talking about the people of Earth. He cares about the other members of the Justice League. To where if anything ever happened, I got us. It won't catch us off guard. I pray that I don't need to use this.
Yeah, but just in case one of us feels evil, which I
100% agree.
I don't think it was a bad idea.
I was about to say,
I'm not disagreeing with
me
it.
and you talked about off camera, and this is my person. I have a plan for everything. It gives me anxiety not to have a plan. And I always heard back to Superman, bro, that nigga's a freak. What if he goes mad? What? He's stronger than Wonder Woman. He's faster than Flash.
The whole Injustice series is based off it.
He's faster than Flash, stronger than Wonder Woman, has the most power. We can barely beat him with the plan. What the fuck if he just flips all of a sudden?
Yeah, like the whole entire Injustice storyline it's just him going mad,
and so
and all the Justice League getting cucked.
And it's just like, that makes sense. I'm for it. So that's where I think they're doing more to really emphasize, to explain with prep time. But it's him actually coming up with real stuff. He's not really just ass pulls per se.
No, I'm not saying it's ass pulls. I just think, like,
it's a bit overrated.
Yeah, I think it's just a bit overrated.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'm super fucking smart. I think I'm pretty smart. And I think I can figure out a way to beat Superman if I had to. You know what I'm saying?
And true.
Like, I can come up with a kryptonite bullet to kill Superman.
True. So if I'm being honest, when I watch most things, for me, like Superman, Flash and shit, they don't really come up with stuff to actually get out of. They actually do just kind of get caught per se.
Yeah. But I think that comes down to lazy writing. Because, like, everybody has their role. Like, Superman's the muscle. Even though Superman's actually pretty fucking smart. Like, canonically. Like, he's actually pretty smart.
Yeah.
Flash is a scientist. So he's actually pretty smart, too.
Whoa, he is a scientist.
Yeah.
I've always read the one where he was just a dumb guy.
Yeah, I know. He's actually a scientist. Let's see.
I guess Wonder Woman is just
Wonder Woman's like the female muscle.
Yeah.
But she's always kind of been the female muscle anyway. And she's not dumb, but like...
And she's actually, for me, she's smarter. She's the smarter version of Superman,
Yeah.
but Superman is the stronger version.
Yeah.
So I guess that does equal itself out.
Yeah, I think like Superman's smart enough to be a reporter and to be an actually good reporter, right?
Oh, he is a reporter.
Yeah.
But his people is stupid because that nigga just put the little shit in front of his face. So it's just a Superman universe stupidity.
Bruh. That's another thing about DC. I just can't get with it. It's like, y'all niggas put on some glasses and a hat, you a different nigga? Like,
I tell anybody quick, anything that does with Superman hinders my point. It's kind of like if I bring up anything with Captain America for you, it kind of waters my shit. But let's talk about the other people. It's something about the people who represent America that do stupid shit. I guess it is a good representation, goddammit.
But it's not even just Superman. Like, it's pretty like, my thing is like, everybody always see like Superman and the Flash, and they'll go into the like a phone booth or whatever, and the phone booth will turn red or blue or whatever, and then Superman will fly out that bitch, and it's like, oh, Superman! Like, you just saw a regular nigga walk in there.
I do get exactly what you mean, but that's just. We talked about this too, and it's good that we brought it up. Sometimes you got to suspend disbelief. Spider-Man does the same shit.
No, Spider-Man will go dip off in the corner. And he always has the suit on anyway.
So that's true.
Which is weird.
What if nothing happens that day?
You just got 4 layers of clothes on. It's just fucking hot.
You know it gets hot up in New York. But he does, so like, to your point, even though he does have it on, I just seen this nigga went flying around the corner, around that alleyway. Oh shit, Spider-Man! Because he did it. I know it's to show effect, and this is not the whole Spider-Man.
When he's running down the thing, and he's putting the thing on. Yeah. That's Spider-Man. That was one.
So in the first movie, when the Green Goblin first attacked, he's running in the crowd of people. So nobody see that shit. Nobody see the nigga stripping off the clothes.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
You just gotta suspend disbelief.
Yeah.
Also in Spider-Man 2, how they never they saw that nigga's face. Did nobody not snitch? Or was it a no snitching thing going on?
I think that was like the New Yorker rule. Like, he didn't say it out loud. So we'll let him have this.
Because it's like, I understand that they don't know who Peter Parker is because he's a nobody.
Yeah.
But like, well, that train was like 100 deep. I know one of y'all niggas seen him again.
I knew it was a big city, but you know.
So like, that's one of those things of suspending disbelief. And that's what I also think makes a good live adaptation. Bro, you just gotta go with the stupid shit. We're talking about niggas who fly and who fucking battle intergalactic shit. You gotta suspend your disbelief. That's why I love Heath Ledger. He suspended his disbelief so far that he became crazy. He actually lost sanity. We're laughing, and I don't mean it, but
it's funny because
he dead ass did.
Yeah, he did it.
He dead ass did.
Sorry.
Yeah, bro, this has nothing to do with nothing, but you know what a New Yorker called a donkey that's not alive? Dead ass.
Oh man. Yeah, but Heath Ledger's actually one of my favorite. He's actually in one of my favorite movies ever. And it's not Batman.
Brokeback Mountain.
No. I forgot he played in that.
That's the only other place I know him from.
A Knight's Tale.
Oh yeah, I did hear that was very good.
It's a great movie. And there's a Nike reference in it.
Yeah. And go figure, right? So I'm hyping The Dark Knight up so much, and I like it. I love it. I told y'all where I rank it. I ain't watched that shit till like 4 years after it came out. I thought it was so. When I saw the Joker in the face paint, I'm like, bro, the Joker doesn't wear face paint. His body is dyed the way it is. Mm-hmm. Y'all gonna do it wrong. They made the best out of it.
I understand why they did the face paint.
It's a lot easier too.
It's easier to explain it right off.
And like, if they made him white once, they had to keep dyeing his whole body white.
Well, I guess it's his hands and feet, his face.
True.
Because they cover up everything else.
Yeah.
But what are we talking about?
Suspending disbelief.
Oh yeah. And I get that. It's a comic book movie. It's a comic book, like, in general, or a TV show. So, like, it's supposed to be, like, fanciful and, like, ooh. But to me, I just feel like Marvel handled it better. Because them niggas is out in the open. Like, the X-Men, we all know who them niggas is.
I hated that X-Men. Once again, like the animated series more.
No, even
you don't know who they were.
Even in the animated series,
in the later years. Because them niggas went to school and people didn't know.
No, the school was on where all the mutants were.
Okay, so I'm thinking of a different animated series.
You're thinking of the X-Men Extreme or it was like the teens. So I know what you're talking about.
And I did see that, but man, they fucking had both in fucking and syndication. So I was watching both thinking they both are the same, but they're two different ones. So like when y'all hear me speak, y'all gonna be like, that's one from the other. Bro, both is the fucking same. Because I know I separate both. Because one Nightcrawler can change into a normal person. So that's the teen one. Mm-hmm. And then the other one, Nightcrawler can't change, and he has a set, like he only has his 3 toes and 3 limbs. That's how I differentiate which is which. Now Wolverine has a different costume too, but
Yeah.
bro, it was the 90s. You know, 90s like to have Drake and swag.
Actually, I think
The one I'm talking about is 2000s.
the original one, yeah, that one's 2000s. The original ones came out in the 80s, early 90s, I think.
Well,
If I remember, it might have just been the 90s.
no, it's the 90s because they rebooting it on Disney and they're calling it X-Men 97.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
But
Yeah.
I hated that X-Men. I hated that they were out in the open. For me, it's like when you're out in the open, bro, why ain't niggas trying to knock this bitch off every day? Why do you ever go a day of happiness around this motherfucker?
Well, because their only villains is Magneto and the X-Men, really. And then when they did have an actual outside of Magneto villain, they did try to knock that bitch down.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I was about to say.
So
It's kind of like so like when
Realistic.
superheroes knowing where everybody's at. Remember Teen Titans? Like we remember the original Teen Titans, but they were always in distress in that motherfucker, which they should be. They live on an island in a giant T. You should be in distress every day of your life.
you asked for this.
And so I do think that's great that Marvel does incorporate it to where they are in distress. Like if you choose to show your face, you choose to run other risk. But I like it more of when you're just avoiding that, and that's my personal. I like it more when you're avoiding showing your identity.
I don't know. I think it's just more because my thing is like, especially in like today's age, there's no way you're a superhero and you can hide your identity. That would be so hard. That's why it's so hard for Peter Parker to keep his two identities separate. And whenever his identity comes out, it's always, like, oh wow, big news.
Which is 100% realistic. That is big news, and that's why this new movie ties into all that because he fucks it up trying to undo it.
Yeah.
But I like for me, and this is why I like to keep their identity safe. I like when the villain finds out, i.e., Spider-Man, the original one with Tobey Maguire, the Green Goblin figures it out. Oh, wait a minute, I cut him right there. I cut Spider-Man right there. Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Only he knows, and he decided to abduct Aunt May. Like I like when that's a built-in stakes raiser. If that may and the Joker in Batman Beyond loved it. He tortured Robin. That's why I actually love this Batman Beyond movie. The Joker actually went overboard for once. Tortured Robin, got all the secrets. He know everything now. He's calling him Bruce. Like he's not even calling him Batman no more. He's calling him Bruce. So he comes back 40, 50 years later, and he tries to knock Bruce off at home because the only supervillain that knows you finally came back. Like now the stakes are raised higher, and they didn't explicitly do it, but Barbara Gordon now is in danger. They didn't do it because time constraints. Like it would have been a whole nother thing to try to fit in that subplot, but now the stakes are raised again, and it's simplistic. But if everybody knew he was Bruce, he would have been dealing with this for years, so he wouldn't have been caught off guard when Joker showed up. I guess in retrospect, he shouldn't have been caught off guard when he realized it was the real Joker. But I'm putting holes. I'm putting holes into something. I was about to say, once you realize that the guy came back, oh fuck, he knows.
Especially if you're the fucking best detective in the world's best detective. God damn it. Yeah,
But that raised the stakes, and I loved it. I love the Spider-Man scene once Green Goblin finds. I love it. It gives the bad guy. It gives the bad guy points for me too, because we knew the Green Goblin was smart. That nigga probably smarter than Peter, if we being honest. He connected them dots so goddamn fast.
I think Peter and him are the same. You also got to think Peter's really fucking smart, actually, too.
Yeah.
He's a scientist as well. Well, he's in school to be a scientist. He's,
No, he's a scientist, but he's also in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Peter's pretty fucking smart, too. So, I think he's on the same level. I think they're all... The thing with all of Spider-Man's supervillains, for the most part, other than, the Rhino and, Doc Croc.
And Hobgoblin here was kind of stupid.
Yeah, Hobgoblin. Yeah. And Venom. But a lot of his villains are smart. Or they have smart people with them.
Doc Ock is a rare case, which is, I'm about to say the weirdest thing. We know he's smarter than Peter because Peter wants to work under him. His ass couldn't figure out Peter was Spider-Man till the end of the movie. Now, He's never really given him a reason per se, but we know he's actually smarter than him. And if what you said is true, which I'm not saying it is, well, about Proxy, he's smarter than Green Goblin, but the Goblin figured that bitch out. And if you think long and hard, bro, he figured out from a cut. So much shit could have went but he figured out from the cut and running late. But he figured that bitch out so quick. Peter came to eat. He seen him, bro. The food wasn't even passed out before he realized, I gotta go. Whoa, you figured that bitch out quick, good buddy. They could at least had you wait for 10 minutes to process the information. No, he processed it and realized, no, it's no way.
And that was Christmas time, wasn't it? Or Thanksgiving or something
that. That's why they were there to eat.
That's crazy.
And so that's why I was just from that point forward, you knew the movie stakes was one, they were already up because we're dealing with the Green Goblin. Mm-hmm. But oh no, this nigga's batshit crazy. He's not gonna.
One thing I didn't like about that first series of Spider-Mans. Now I like that Green Goblin was the villain. I didn't like that after that they could never bring him back. He killed him, right? So
yeah, I hated that.
But I also understand why they did that. It was because it was a great ending to the movie. It ended well. That movie was...
That was not anticlimactic at all. I actually thought he was going to live. Mm-hmm. And it was oh shit, you done killed that motherfucker.
Well, he killed himself.
He killed himself. Yeah. The producers done knocked that nigga off.
Because Peter was trying to let him live. Peter was trying to let him go. Mm-hmm. But he was so intent on killing Peter, he killed himself.
And this poetic justice, you were your own downfall, bro. You've done all this anyway.
Yeah. But also his story is so tragic as the Green Goblin because he really wasn't trying to be evil. He was trying to make a superhero serum, which it goes back to Captain America because he's following that same.
Yeah.
So he's trying to make a superhero serum, but everybody knows that superhero serum, all it does is it amplifies your innate things about yourself.
And he was already kind of crazy.
He was already
he was a little bit crazy.
And it's made it
a lot of crazy. Which is, bro, when we go back and talk about it, people keep trying to discredit Spider-Man based off of Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 was bad. I'm not arguing that. Spider-Man 1 and 2 are classics. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
And I'm talking classics. If nobody ever seen Spider-Man, that's good to show them. They're going to like that shit. Mm-hmm.
And I also, number one, the graphics still kind of hold up.
Bro, they hold up great. I don't give a damn.
Goddamn alarms.
They hold up great. I actually just seen the movie. I'm not a real CGI guy, so it doesn't fuck with me unless it's obvious a green screen. Mm-hmm. But that shit's good.
Yeah, so I agree with you, but when you watch a recent CGI movie and then you go back and watch an old CGI movie, you're like, it's one of those things. If you have only been watching old movies for a minute, you won't notice it. But when you go back and look at a new one and then go back and watch an old one, it's oh. And that one holds up well. You can tell that it's older.
But they did all the best things of old. It's this is gonna be a weird analogy, but it's like releasing a game at the end of a console life cycle. You're not gonna get the new graphics, but you're gonna maximize the most of everything you had then. And that movie maximized. It did everything it could with its CGI. It did not go over and it didn't under. This was a huge tangent.
We're talking about it's one of my favorite movies. It's still part of the thing.
I was about to say. So I guess for you, what's one of your least favorite movies, and why?
Least favorite, probably Daredevil, 2001. I think that's what movie came out.
I loved that movie back then.
I loved it back then. I went back and watched it. I was like, this is awful.
It's god awful.
So bad. It's not compelling. The villain is.
They actually, and it's the same for the Catwoman movie with Halle Berry. These are people who had an abstract thought of what the character was, but you really didn't know anything about.
Yeah,
you probably watch it on a Saturday morning cartoon, Avengers with Daredevil. You probably seen them then. You've never read a Daredevil comic. It shows because this isn't Daredevil. Besides being blind. That nigga want he want no Daredevil.
And like, so like, I was fiending for a good like adaptation of Daredevil, and then Netflix came up with their Daredevil adaptation, the best. Like that is how Daredevil should have been done forever.
I actually haven't watched it yet.
It is so good.
I have no reason why. I just haven't. Whenever I do, I'm gonna binge watch the shit out of it.
Yeah, like it is the perfect like it delves into him being a lawyer. It delves into how he got his hearing sight powers. It gives you everything that you need, and he gets beat up. He's still a normal fucking person. He gets shot. He gets this, and like people figure out It shows like how hard it is to actually keep a secret identity, and it's realistic. Just like my thing is like no one ever saw Batman come in and beat the fuck up to work. Or I guess he's a billionaire. He just take the day off.
No bullshit. I'm pretty sure that's everything. Like every time something bad has actually happened. It's like when Bane broke the bat. Mm-hmm. Alfred just covered for him at work. I think I forgot what the lie was, but he just wasn't available. Well, of course, that nigga's not available. The nigga got broke smack in half. The only way you can make him available is if you fake a car crash. Like there's no reason you should break your back just doing nothing. Like even falling down the stairs don't justify breaking your back.
I mean, I guess if you fell hard enough. I don't know. People got hurt doing dumber shit, so I guess.
Alfred is also a glue for most of Batman to make sense. And you got to suspend disbelief that Albert is great at damn near everything, which the Dark Knight movies made a good reference that Albert lived. That nigga lived a life now. He was like that. He was like that in his younger years. You just want to scale it back, just take care of whatever. But like in the same instance when Bane broke his back, well, he couldn't go to a hospital. Albert basically nurses him back to health. So the suspension of disbelief is for you to believe
that he can do back surgery.
And that he's pretty much a pharmaceutical specialist, which I guess with their access to money, it shouldn't be. Yeah. But so hard. But like now that I think about it, when you said it, no, Batman gets hurt a lot. Alfred just tends to him. You got to actually believe that Alfred can do everything, which I do.
I don't know. I just think it's so weird. Okay, I consider myself a jack of all trades, right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty good at a lot of shit. But like, I can patch up a wound. I can probably patch a bullet wound, but I don't think I can fix someone's back. You know what I'm saying?
I need to actually go reread the comic. I dead ass just don't know. Well, it's superheroes. Once again, we're suspending disbelief. I don't think it's possible in real life to fix your back.
Yeah, you can. As long as your spinal cord is not severed.
I mean, bro, he dropped him on his knee. You know how he broke the back.
As long as your spinal cord is not severed, you are fixable.
I don't even remember in the Dark Knight movie, The Dark Knight Returns, I actually don't remember what they actually did to rehab him either. But whatever they did, it's pretty much fixed his back. And yeah,
also, I don't know if that would actually. Well, I guess if he is super strong. Bane is super strong, right?
I think in the comics, they may have sent him to Ra's al Ghul. I think he may have went into the Lazarus pit. Maybe. Man, that's the reason why they got connections to Ra's al Ghul. Because he's actually had to use them before. Which more complex thing pisses him off so badly that I gotta fucking help. Like, I need your help and you're a criminal. My least favorite movie, I could say a lot. I could say Daredevil. I could say Catwoman. I could say Amazing Spider-Man.
That movie's not as bad as people say it is.
I just hate Andrew Garfield. And
I think it was bad writing, not really him.
And I do hate Jamie Foxx's character. Not the way he played, bro. I hate the way that nigga looks. I hate this CGI with that motherfucker.
Okay. Well, they're bringing him back, so
and he looks worse. I don't know if I saw a fake CGI.
I haven't watched the new trailer yet, so I don't know how it looks.
If it
I
is
just saw a slow caption of like a picture of Jamie Foxx. It's like, oh, he's gonna be in the movie, cool. But I have not seen
his powers. But I'm going to go to something more relevant. The first Suicide Squad movie is really super disappointing to me.
I didn't think it was that bad.
And this is the reasons why I hated it so badly. And it's in detail. This is my overarching reason. And this is the main reason. How the fuck do you make a Harley Quinn movie before you establish Batman and before you establish the Joker, which her whole she's not the Joker. She doesn't have this ambiguous story. Her story directly revolves around the Joker. How the hell don't you have the Batman to have the Joker, but you have this Harley Quinn? And she does an amazing job.
The thing is that they had a Batman.
Was that Ben Affleck?
Yeah, it's Ben Affleck. But he hadn't had a solo movie yet. But he had only, at that point, I think he had only...
Batman versus Superman. That's the only movie he's done. Is Batman.
No, I'm saying he appeared in Man of Steel first.
Oh yeah.
So I think he had appeared in Man of Steel, and we knew he was in Wayne Tower. So obviously he was Bruce Wayne. So like we had a Batman, and
Jared Leto appears in the Suicide Squad.
So I think they were setting up a Batman versus Jared Leto storyline for their expanded universe. Because they're trying to be MCU,
and that's my main issue. And some people
DCU.
Some people hear this, so you don't have a problem with the movie. The structure was off from the get go. You could tell they just wanted to make an Avengers, and so they got a bunch of characters who they knew.
They were trying to make a Guardians of the Galaxy. Is what they were trying to do,
and they just got a bunch of characters.
Well, I mean, the thing, like that storyline exists.
Yeah,
the Suicide Squad storyline exists. So it's not like they were trying to actively compete.
Yeah. When there's a way to go about it, the way to go about it is to establish the Batman. And like not establish like, oh, we know who it is, to make the story. And if you want to have a little cameo Joker, you don't even have to just have a cameo Joker to establish the Joker. That way we know when you do the Suicide Squad, if that's what you branch off next, one, every individual character needs a movie, are the main ones. Like you can't just, like they're all new to the screen. People don't know who the fuck they really are. But that way, when you have the movie, it's like, oh yeah, I seen that Joker in the cameo. Like this makes sense. And that pissed me off. Hated Will Smith as Deadshot. I think he did the best he could, but I still hated it.
I think the script was just bad.
The script was god awful.
I don't think any of the characters did a bad job being the characters. I think the script was just bad.
And I'm basing this off of what? The new Suicide Squad movie, which I love.
I think the script was just better.
I was saying, I do love that shit. So everything I said is kind of bullshit because they still don't have a Batman or a Joker. So
well, they did, but they had to scrap all that shit.
Not when the new Suicide Squad movie came out. Not when the current one I think dropped this year.
Yeah. So I'm saying like they were trying to build a connecting universe, right? They were trying to build where everything is, everything.
Yeah.
But people keep dropping off like flies.
I think this one was supposed to be a make right for the last one because like some people was like, isn't this a sequel? No. But they got the same Harley Quinn. It makes you think, right? But it's not a sequel.
I thought, she did so well as Harley Quinn. Like, we can't replace her.
I was about to say, he's just a spiritual successor.
Yeah, it's a reimagining.
And then they had the same guy as the captain. The guy who John Cena kills.
Oh,
I never actually knew his name. I know he's Captain something.
Captain Boomerang? No.
Captain something. He's a repeat, but I was like, yeah, I mean, it's a make right, and I don't think they intended for this to be their start of their DCU, but I think it just happened so well, that now let's try to fit in some pieces around it, and that's the best they can do, but they fail. I don't know who the fuck the casting is. They fail Superman every time. The Twilight nigga, I'm not gonna write him off just yet. I heard he's doing a good job. I heard he's doing a good job.
Well, he's actually a good actor, which is
I haven't seen pictures of him recently, but his frame and how he looks. Well, Christian Bale was tall and skinny, so they don't count.
But Christian Bale also put on like 60 pounds of fucking
He
muscle.
did put a lot of muscle.
He also, I think right before Batman, he did the Mechanist.
Yeah,
and he
was anorexic. Basically.
Yeah, like super method acted, and like was only eating like a can of tuna like every 2 days or some shit like that.
I thought he was only eating shakes at that point.
No, like at one point he was eating like a can of tuna, and that's it.
Oh shit! And so I'm not saying that he can't act. Just looking at him, he doesn't look like Bruce Wayne. I seen pictures of him with the mask. Oh, fuck, he don't really look like Batman either. This could just be me being super like he just doesn't really look.
What does look like Batman mean? White with a black mask on?
The one thing about Batman is he has a generic white face. I know that sounds so bad, but like when he put the mask on, he's a generic white man in that mask. How do I know that? Because Superman did it, and well, fuck, I guess Superman and Batman does look alike. Oh, fuck. I didn't notice it until they did it. Oh, them niggas are drawn exactly alike.
Oh, the strong jawline.
It was like and then he took it off. Whoa. Holy fuck. This is generic white man. Because in other ones, Dick Grayson dressed up as Batman when we didn't know it. Whoa. You do look like Batman. So it sounds funny. You need to be generic white man. You need to be able to. You need to put that motherfucker on and not know who it is.
That's funny.
That's probably like my biggest knock towards him. Yeah, he's not. He's a nigga who wear black at night. You're not supposed to know who the fuck he is.
I guess.
That's
yeah,
the gimmick.
yeah, of course. But it's just, to me, it's just like, that's another thing that makes him like unsatisfying. Like Tony Stark looks so much like Tony Stark that they picked the guy to look like Tony Stark and they changed the character to look like him.
That's the biggest knock you could have to me. I actually don't remember Iron Man before Tony Stark. One, because Robert Downey actually did look like the original Iron Man, but he looked so much like him that it made it easy to.
Robert Downey Jr. was the best casting they could ever do for Iron Man.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, he literally looked so much alike.
He looks like him. He acts like him. He's a smart ass like him. He is Iron Man.
Yeah. So like, yeah, like you got me beat with that. It's hard. Ain't too many people gonna beat Bruce Wayne.
Boring.
But Bruce Wayne's not boring. That's the problem. Like, they make him boring to fit the actor's skill sets.
I don't know. I just think he's boring.
I
just don't find him interesting.
If I was white, I could play that nigga just fine. That's the problem.
Well, there actually is a black Batman in another universe.
That's too much to say, goddammit. That's one thing to say Black Spider-Man, because that's Miles Morales. I'm Black Batman, goddammit. Niggas gonna think I'm a blood.
Roach Man.
But I mean, I guess I could just be Batman Beyond, and you don't see shit. You don't see shit about me.
And that's the Black Batman. He has instead of having the cutout for his face.
Yeah.
It's
like,
a full cowl, like a full face mask.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And in that universe, it's an authoritarian police state.
The way Gotham basically is, that bitch was kind of always authoritarian. But I get, like, that shit's bad. How do you call somebody a dumbass when I'm calling them a dumbass?
Yeah. But I think, and that brings us to the end of this episode.
This is part 1. We actually have so many other topics, but this video is getting long and my laptop is getting short. So we out.
We out.